The explosions rocked the city of Lagos in the early hours of Monday, 16th January. The incident, from preliminary reports, have been attributed to a compromised LPG container. Across major city centers, you will likely find an LPG, or what is known as cooking gas, refill and retail point. For the bigger entities, you will find a location doing both refill and retail. For the smaller dealers, they just retail already refilled bottles. This is the face of business which has risen to a level of proliferation as can be seen in most residential areas. Until recently, the retail and refill of cooking gas was an activity mainly carried out at major downstream petrol stations and mostly by the oil majors. But when policies began to shift in favor of cleaner energy as against fossil fuel, including kerosene, a new business was born. Sprawling retail outlets dealing in cooking gas has been on the rise. On the brink of this latest fire incident, the voice from onlookers and respondents doesn't seem to favor what they say is the siting of LPG refill plants in residential areas.
We don't want it.
But before that can become a valid position, is the question that must be asked: what is the requirement in setting up of a plant? How many of such plants or smaller retail centers are actually licensed? Who are the licensing agencies? Well, from our checks, the Department of Petroleum Resources is responsible for issuing operating licenses, while the state agencies, whether it be the Physical Planning or Safety Commission, issues license for the property location. Some experts have also argued that development had grown to meet some of these retail plants which were initially remotely located. The DPR guideline is a 6-session document with over 100 instructions covering emergency, operations, licensing, maintenance, plant access control, basic qualifications for personnel, truck safety, discharging of products, refill areas, penalty, and a lot more. Lagos State, in this case, has its guidelines for approval to happen. Question is, how many of these outlets have all the required documentations in place? What's the level of cooperation and synergy between supervising agencies? Because in the past, there's been cases where a property has a government approval but didn't receive the blessings of the DPR to operate a filling station. What's the response time of first responders to emergencies? Perhaps it is time to take a look at the entire LPG retail ecosystem. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.